Hey, it's Paul from How to Network here. As you know, unless you've been living in a cave, there's a big virus going around the world. We're all affected to a greater or lesser extent, even if we haven't fallen ill. The way we live in our lives, even today, has changed. I've had a few thoughts on this, and I wanted to share them with you because by the time this is all blown over, life's going to be very different for all of us. Now, I'm not going to be philosophical and talk about values and economics and that kind of stuff, but I wanted to have a chat about the contexts of what it means for us as IT people, and I just wanted to give you a heads up and tell you to start making preparations. And as bad as things are, they're gonna get better, obviously, and I just want us to be prepared and make the best of it. So I just feel like I wanted to give you some advice. Now, we're all grown up, so if you don't agree with me, that's fine. If you want to adapt what I'm telling you, that's fine. Your circumstances might be different, but yeah. So here we go. If you've never heard of me, this is my pitch. I've written quite a few books, which you could look up on Amazon. Go through all that stuff quick. I own howtonetwork.com, 101labs.net, and in60days.com. Now, YouTube will let you know if I've released a video if you hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell, because that tells them that you're more interested in my videos than maybe the videos of cats or something like that. So please do that. I also own howtonetwork.com, and I've got a load of free goodies. I'll just show you briefly and then we'll get properly started. If you go to howtonetwork.com, if you click on free training, I've got a load of free webinars. I've got a really good book, Best IT Study and Career Advice Ever, which is going to be important. Webinars, let's see the first one, sorry. How to land your first IT job. Myths about IT freelancing is going to be really important for what I'm talking about. What else is there? How to do well in your IT exams. If you fail it, you'll lose $300. Massive motivation, which we're all going to need at the moment. So stick your email in the box and I'll send that to you. Obviously check your junk folder because it'll probably go there. Alright, so this is not a short-term issue. This is going to be going on for the rest of 2020. And I know China are just coming out of it, but things are still happening over there. We I live in Australia now. We are well into it, but we're still 45 days away from the peak of the infection spread due to the way the transmission goes on, and the fact that you're 5 days carrier and contagious without knowing it and showing no symptoms, and then 80% of those who have it will never know they had it. So we've got all this coming. You'll be the same in America if you're watching it. And basically what's happening is they're trying to restrict the contact between people. So even though we're all probably going to get it, or there's a good chance, it's going to be spread out. So there isn't a massive influx of emergencies into the hospitals, and there'll be no beds or respirators left. So that's the best we can hope for. Now, having said all that, I'm getting my information from expert sources. Please do the same. So stay off Facebook. Don't watch the news. It is just scaremongering and trying to get clicks and politicize the whole thing when it shouldn't be. So there's the Centre for Disease Control, the CDC website. You'll have similar websites for each of your countries, I'm sure. Otherwise, this is a great resource to find out what's going on, what to do, and what to look for. And then if you need local advice, go to your local country or city's government website. Like I said, avoid all of the weird and wonderful social media and other things. So the conversation has already started, and I've been waiting for this. The way we have been doing things had a massive flaw, and it wasn't until now where this flaw was actually exposed. Now, the flaw can sometimes be exposed with a massive seismological event like an earthquake or tsunami. As we know, it hit. There was a major outage in one of the Australia cloud providers, and they, for whatever reason, they didn't have a clone site, which you normally do have with cloud. So that exposed them. This is causing a lot of questions, especially around China, but other countries also, who we rely on to exist basically, because of the materials that they source for vital goods and services. So obviously the goods at the moment are pharmaceuticals, medicines that are going to help us get better and stay healthy. So we know there's a big problem. This is why things are going to change. This is from Reuters. China's coronavirus induced supply chain woes and concerns about possible drug shortages. This is just one of them. So delaying production and shipment, but this is the thing we need to look at. So yeah, China along with India, both superpowers now, because they were we've outsourced everything to them, and also they were excluded from the Paris Climate Agreement, so they can produce whatever emissions they want for quite some time. So the world's pharmaceutical supply chain, particularly for generic drugs, this is a massive problem. This is one of the discussions going on. Also, outsourcing has exposed businesses to risk. Our biggest telco in Australia, Telstra, has call centre chaos. It's a massive embarrassment for them at the moment because, and I'll go into this in a bit, they can't homework as easily as we can because of the infrastructure they have. Obviously, people are living in poverty, so places like India, a lot of people are living in very humble accommodation where they don't have fast internet available. And then we had an earthquake a while ago in the Philippines. So the most important thing for any business in order to carry on existing and make their money and operate is continuity. And as you know, we're struggling at the moment. So this has always been an option. This is going to become urgent for, I would say, every business from small, medium to super large. They're going to, I reckon, look at the need to remove on-site support staff. This is why the cloud would be ideal, an ideal option for them. They're also going to start adapting the workforce for home working. There's very few jobs now that you actually need to be there. Anything that involves a computer. Obviously, medical staff do need to be present. Even having said that, even doctors now are starting to do consultations over the web. So all this has an impact on us as IT people. The supply chain issues also need to be fixed. So we've had the biggest drop in the Dow for I think 30 years. Obviously this is USA. It'll be the same all over the world. You can see here it's gone right down. Now obviously each government is taking measures to try and bolster the economy, change interest rates, dump a massive amount of money into the economy, drop interest rates for borrowing. I'm not sure who'd want to borrow at the moment, really, but here we go. So, say for example, in America, you were going along here very nicely, and now we've dropped down here. There's been a massive dip, as you know. So we could see some recovery, but like I said, in 45 days' time from today. So what is it now? Wednesday the 18th of March, the full impact of the coronavirus will probably be hitting us in Australia and America. But things will get better. Slowly, things will get better. We need to start preparing now. Do not wait until we're here, because you're going to miss the train. Alright, so as you know, I was impacted by this. I was working here at Cisco TAC in around 2002. And then all of our support ended up over here in the Philippines. America, you outsourced a ton of your manufacturing and support to China, also Malaysia, the Philippines, and also India. So their economies have been booming, as you know, I'm sure, and ours have been floundering for many reasons. So this is what I predict is going to be happening. Many of the industries, which I'll go into in a bit, are going to be coming back to India, UK, Australia, and I'll count any developed nation, to be honest, from China. Not everything, but an awful lot. So this is why we need to start prepping. Alright, so what's likely coming back? From what I've been reading, a lot more manufacturing will be coming back. Technology, which obviously impacts us the most, but all of these companies will be having IT infrastructures that need supporting. Pharmaceuticals, obviously, this is on the news all the time now, which is a massive industry. And more defence. So what we're going to see is a massive jump in home working. I reckon there'll be a law passed where every business has to have a continuity plan, and there'll be certain key infrastructures or I've lost the word, sorry, certain key industries that have to have this by law. We won't see it, yes, but this will happen in order to maintain the continuity of the country and keep the economy afloat. So keeping staff separated, home working is perfect for this. It will minimise risks. It will lower the costs for any business. You obviously are going to have flexible staff and hours, so it works for us. And if you're commuting to work and you'll say you would need $15, I'm making up a number now, but say you need $15 an hour. If you don't need to drive to work every day, you won't need to be buying train passes, tube passes. Your vehicle, you might not even need a car if you can, if you don't need to drive anywhere, or you could just do an Uber or whatever. So all of a sudden, you need less money to get by, because remember, around a third of your salary is going to be going on travel costs. And you won't need to live anywhere near work, so you can move out of the city, move somewhere nice and peaceful, a lot cheaper. So you're going to need a lot less money. So it's fair, because that extra money you are only going to spend on travelling anyway, and obviously you get your time back. Businesses will have lower costs because they won't need these massive buildings. They might need a small building somewhere, but all right. And I've mentioned the travel costs. So all the outsourcing, remember, happened. It was kicking over in the 2000s, and now we're in 2020. So I just thought I'd compare Justin Timberlake with his perm down there to how he looks in 2020. And there's the Justin Timberlake calendar if you want to grab yourself. You might get a discount now because it's March. So our internet speed, 2000, I can't even remember. I think we had modems then. We didn't have broadband where I was, so you'd have to unplug your phone and plug a modem in. We've had massive security improvements, huge wireless improvements in speed and security. Cloud computing is cheap and easy to use and highly secure. It was barely even invented. It was, I think, Hotmail was in use back then. So that's the first thing. The next thing is there's going to be a massive jump in freelancing, and this is where you come in. Freelancing full time, so you're your own boss working for one or many clients, or you're working for your boss, a company during the day, and then evenings or weekends you're doing freelance gigs, and I'm going to show you how that works. So you're a gun for hire, you work on an as needed basis, you get paid, it'll be around double. It could actually be 10 times what employees get, as I'll show you in a minute. You don't get the benefits, but look at what's happening now. With the current model, you might not be getting any sick leave, you might not be able to get any help with your medical costs, you might not get any help with your childcare. If all of a sudden you're earning 2, 3, 4 times what you would be in your job, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter for me anymore, because I work for myself and I've engineered things, so I couldn't afford to get a job now. I could pay for all my private care, car, paid for cash, all this kind of stuff. And the other thing which I haven't mentioned is the tax benefits are absolutely fantastic. You can write off, depending on where you are, 25% of your rent if you're renting, vehicles, computers, pay for all your exams through your small business, all that kind of stuff. I'll show you more about that in a bit. So gig economy is really going to boom. The world is going to change. You have to change. I'm going to have to change if you want to survive. If you think you're going to come out of this and get a job with a company for 30 years with pension and benefits, forget it. I don't think people are going to be retiring in the future as we know it now. But if you're doing something nice and easy, part-time from home, you probably won't want to. So I only put this here because there was a massive change after the Industrial Revolution, where coal was transported by barges. There was tens of thousands of people who had horses, and they pulled the barges along. Even in the early 1900s in the UK, we've got a massive network of canals all through the United Kingdom. And also, because there was hundreds of thousands of horses, there was tens of thousands of farriers who basically looked after the horses' hooves, made the shoe. The blacksmiths made the shoes. The farriers looked after and clipped the horses' hooves. I'm only saying this because there was a massive change over 100 years ago. All of these people adapted and went into working in factories, and I think our change is going to be of this kind of same significance. So the gig economy, this is just from one, there's people per hour, there's a whole bunch. This is from Upwork.com. So have a look. This is where I hire nearly all of my freelancers. So this guy's a Microsoft certified professional, MCSE. That's actually disappearing soon, I think. That's not going to exist. But so Active Directory, he does some virtualization. DHCP, we can learn that really easy. So you can see what he does. He's made 90,000. He works from home in the Ukraine, cheap to live there, and he's on $70 an hour, US dollars. Really good. And bearing in mind he doesn't travel to work every day, so he doesn't have all these costs. This guy's on 100k. He's in Russia. What does he do? Azure, which is easy to learn. Network design, again, easy to learn. What next? Linux administrator. I keep telling you, you must learn Linux. Must. Don't have to be a guru, but you've got to learn sort of to CompTIA Linux plus standards. AWS. I've been talking about this for years. CCNP, great qualification, especially the new one. So he's on $83 an hour, and he's pulled 70k so far. Don't know how long he's been on the site. This guy does some coding. He's done 100k. He's an MCP. 100k. He's an MCP, and he does Microsoft Azure. And then finally, probably the best one. This guy's on $300 an hour. Don't know who he is. I never hired him. He lives in Canada, and he does some development. So this is probably why .NET is massive at the moment, and there's a shortage of .NET developers. So this guy is doing pretty well, I would imagine, and he's probably not worried at the moment, unlike many other people. So this is the kind of thing you should be aiming for. You do need to prove that you've got certification. Sites like Upwork, you can tell them you can do this, that, and the other. And I keep arguing with people about this. They're telling me certifications don't matter. They do, because nobody's going to be interested in what you can do if you can't prove it. So let's prepare for the bounce back, and let's start doing it now. Learn cloud services and infrastructure. There's going to be a load of homework in. So if you can help businesses get a home workers all in place, it's basically VPNs plus authentication you would need to know. So I've put I can't find my marker. Security plus here, which is CompTIA. There's a whole bunch of other security. Every vendor has security certifications. For your cloud, obviously you've got Azure, you've got Amazon, you've got Google. Maybe just choose one to learn. So choose between Amazon or Azure personally, but whatever you want. Cisco, CCNA and CCNP always. Wireless networking, that's covered by CCNA and CCNP. So you need to have these skills. Now you can be an expert in one of them, but you do need to know all three to a reasonable level. Now I see this all the time. This is my inbox. If you quit study now, if you're thinking, oh, I need to save myself a few dollars, it's a really bad idea. I'm not saying that because I run a training website, but every day I get, a few, then the next day, then the next day. People are cancelling, which is fine. I appreciate people can do what they want. your cost to study, say if you're on a membership website like mine, is probably 60 cents per day. All right, and you've seen these other people are pulling from $70 to $300 per hour's work. They're working the hours they want from home, probably wearing their socks and a pair of shorts. So don't quit, even if you're just getting a book off Kindle for like $10 or whatever. Do that. Freelance economy, the gigging economy is going to be massive. I actually teach freelancing. What is it? Why? How to get prepared? Getting your brand ready, contracting, moonlighting, which is if you want to do it on the side, what to do before you quit your job, interviews, contracts, negotiating, networking, personal finances, freelancing mistakes, keeping your customer happy, how to get paid more, avoid legal problems, and consulting. I only say that because I learned how to do it a few years ago and I did really well. I was really pleased with it. So yeah, I'm just winding up now, but the freelancing course is on howtonetwork.com under careers, and there's a whole bunch of courses on the website. So this is obviously me promoting my own stuff. So please start making plans now. I know things might be hard for a lot of you. I really feel for you. A lot of my friends are struggling. A lot of small business owners are worrying. It's going to get better. So even if you end up having to cut costs now, sleeping on a friend's sofa, not driving somewhere, whatever you need to do to get by, but start studying, start getting some certifications under your belt. As soon as you get one, get over to that website on Upwork and start looking for some gigs, even if you have to undercut anyone to get some reviews and case studies. If I can help you any way I can, you can drop a question. Obviously all my preference goes to the members on How to Network on the forum. That'll help the best I can. But yeah, start doing something because things are going to change. You've heard my predictions of what's going to happen. It isn't going to be good. It's going to be pretty grim, I reckon, for the most of the year. But there's still IT still there. It still needs supporting. People are going to need help. Businesses will need help. They're still going to have wireless and security issues, and then things are really going to pick up, I think, at the end of the year going into the next year. So hop over to the website. You can join for $1, and I'll give you a code in a second. Have a look around and then go to this URL, howtonetwork.com/YouTube. Pick a course that you want to learn. Get started. Come and ask on the forum if you need any help. There's loads of this. I think there's 30 courses now. Career training, exam strategy support. So that's it. I wish you all the best. Please stay safe. Stay in as much as you can. Stream some movies or read a book or whatever. We're doing the same. Only going out if we really have to. And I'll see you on the next video. And remember to subscribe and hit the bell.